Hey guys, it's Bianca if you're new around here, and in today's video I thought I'd film a bit of the year 7 tips and tricks for starting year 7. I've just finished year 7 and I'm now going into year 8. If you don't know, I think that's grade, I think I'm going into grade 7. I could probably Google that, but yeah. So this is tips and tricks for starting secondary school, high school, whatever you call it. I know this is the second year of middle school in the US, but I'll Google it at some point. And I'll probably put it in somewhere. But I want to talk to you guys a bit about tips and tricks for year 7, because I know year 7 is like such a weird thing starting. You're moving schools, there's so many new schools combining and you're meeting so many new people, and so many things are changing, like you're moving from class to class, you're bringing in supplies, stuff like that. So I want to talk to you a bit about like throughout the day and just like give you some tips and tricks on how to like have the best year possible, because year 7 is honestly so good and you need to listen to me because it's amazing. You'll have the best time of your life ever. So I want to start with when you wake up in the morning. So in the morning you want to have enough amount of sleep, because I know especially throughout the year I went through like, I don't know what to call it. I went through a stage where I wasn't going to bed until 3 AM and then waking up at 5:30. So that's 2.5 hours of sleep. And I was running off 2.5 hours of sleep for like 6 weeks straight each night. So getting to bed at the right time, but also waking up at the right time. So you don't want to wake up too late because you want to have like a good amount of time to do stuff. But then you don't want to wake up too early because you don't want to be tired for the next day. So personally I wake up at 5:30, what my friends say is ridiculous, but most of my friends recommend waking up at 6:15, 6:30, and it just gives you enough amount of time to get ready in the morning and make sure everything's okay. It's also less stressful because you know that you are going to be awake in time and that you're not going to be late for school, because that can go down a whole other road. But also getting everything ready the night before, so like laying out your blazer and tie and your shoes and your clothes on the back of your door, or like having a hook in your wardrobe or on your desk or something, just to make sure that in the morning you're not running around trying to find all your stuff. You know exactly where it is, you know exactly like that you're not going to be looking around for it, because you can lose so much time with that. So breakfast. Personally, I'm not the type of person who likes to eat breakfast until about 9, 10. So what I do personally is I take a breakfast bar into school and then I eat it whenever I'm hungry. So whether that is when I'm walking to school, or that is in between me changing over from period 1 to 2. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day and what I want to do. But eating in between lessons, you need to be quick, and you also need to like make sure you're actually going to get to your lesson on time. But then also it can also be really helpful because you've got enough energy for the next period. Making friends can be such a hard thing, but can also be the easiest thing you're not expecting it. What I recommend doing is like the first day or so, walk in with someone you know. So what me and my friends did is we walked in as a huge group, so we're not alone and we know exactly what we're doing and we do it together basically, and it just makes everything so much easier. And also your tutor, so basically my tutor, I had one friend in my tutor, and I have 0 because my friend left, but I had one friend in my tutor, but I just made tutor friends so quickly. But no matter how many friends you have in your classes or your tutor, you're always going to get a chance to see them, whether that's during break or lunch, or whether you're in a class with them. It's the best thing ever, because I know me and my friends love being in the same classes together, because it just makes it so much funnier. And then also, okay, so being pushed around. I know a lot of people can be worried about like being pushed in the corridors or like in lunch queues and the queues in general. But honestly, you don't get pushed. I've been pushed once, and that was by one of my friend's siblings, and that was it. So honestly, you're going to be fine. It's not like that chaotic as you think it is. Most schools have a one-way system, or they direct you where you're going, so it's not as busy as you think it will be. Personally, my school has like a huge quad with all the English classrooms and like a couple IT classrooms and there's a science class in there and stuff like that. And then that's all a one-way system. So there's no one going like this. So if you're going to get pushed, you're going to get pushed when people are trying to get past you. But also like in lunch queues, go with the flow of the lunch queue. So if the lunch queue is going from one corridor into the lunch queue, but you're in this corridor, don't try push in, just go round to the other corridor and flow with everyone else, because then you're less likely to get pushed and less likely to like have to wait so long, and it's always just quicker. So talking about lunch queues, so this is what I'm talking about, canteens. So first of all, primary school food is so much worse than secondary school's food. Like, I personally hated this primary school food, so if you didn't like that food, I still recommend trying it because it's so much better. Some of my favourite things are my school's brownies and ginger cookies. They do good like mac and cheese, fish and chips always on a Friday and stuff like that, so sometimes it can be really nice, but sometimes there are a few things, like I don't really like that curry, but I don't know. But another thing is going to get your lunch on your break. So it's quicker sometimes if you go at break, then less people buying less food, so it's the queue flows quicker. So if like you want to like get your lunch, then you should, because it's just quicker and it saves you waiting in such a long lunch queue for your lunch. And sometimes what happens is we have a 45-minute lunch, and I'll be in like a canteen queue for like 35 minutes, and then I have 10 minutes to talk to my friends and eat my lunch. So a bit about school bags is I'm going to do a video on my bag, like what's my bag, to start before I start school, so don't worry, that'll be soon, so you'll see like the bag I use and stuff like that. But then handbags can be really heavy. I use a handbag, but at some points they can also be easier to use because it's easier to like open it. You don't have to take the whole bag off to open it and like get something quickly. Like a backpack, you have to take off, open the zip. That handbag, you can actually like take a strap further down, reach in your bag and stuff like that. So sometimes it can be easier, but they can be heavier and they give me really bad shoulder pains. So halfway through this year I did like use my backpack a few days and then went back to my handbag. But it just depends. And then backpacks can be lighter to walk around the school with, so they're more easy, but they're kind of less functional, I think, even though sometimes they're bigger, but handbags are cuter, so you kind of have to weigh out the thing. Pencil case. Okay, I had a really cute pencil case this year. Well, it wasn't that cute, but let me find it. I had this pencil case this year, but after the first few days I stopped using it because it was just such a pain. So what I did is I kept all my normal stationery in my like blazer pocket. So I had a pen in there, a pencil in there, my ruler was in there, my calculator was in there, and I think I had a sharpener in there or something like that. Oh no, because I used mechanical pencils this year. I had something else in there. But also, oh, my hair's caught on my necklace. Clear pencil cases can be so much better because you can see exactly where stuff is. So you can see into it, and then you're not rustling around looking in the top and trying to find exactly what you need. And as I said, keeping spare stationery in your blazer saves you so much time and it makes it so much easier. So a bit more about like uniform and stuff. So please don't roll your skirt. I roll my skirt. Okay, I shouldn't be saying this then. Okay, sometimes I do roll my skirt, only because I roll it if it looks weird. Because sometimes like when I put my skirt on, I'm like, oh, I don't like it, it's a bit long. Even though it's the same like every day, but sometimes I'm not in the mood for a long skirt. So I will roll it down. But I recommend getting a longer skirt so you can choose throughout the day, you know? But don't roll it up that much that it's like really chunky at the top, because it just doesn't look good and it's not that cool. Save that for like year 10, 11. And then makeup, keep it minimal. I'm going to do a video next week of makeup and hairstyles for school, and I think that's going to be kind of fun because it is one of my favourite topics to talk about, obviously. I could talk for years about that sort of stuff. But just keep it minimal, but I'll do a video on what I wear and what I wore this year. The only thing I'm changing this year is I'm putting some products in my brows. That's it though. And you'll see that in my morning routine. Okay, so homework. Loads of people get worried about homework, and I guess it's from like you going from primary school, you get like 1 a week, I think. If you're going from secondary school and people are scaring you and stuff, thinking that you're going to get like 10 every day, you honestly get a lot less than you expect. Like, but also try to do it the day you get it. I know I did it most days. I left it until like the night before it's due, but it saves you so much time if you do it the day you get it, or at least have it so you know you need to do it. But also my school, they have to give you a week to do your homework, so it's not as bad, but sometimes it's like, oof, do I really want to do this straight away, or do I want to wait until the last day and do it, because I can't be bothered right now. But this year I'm definitely going to try and get my homework done, because I struggled so much last year with homework, because I just didn't do it. Get detentions. Oh my god, okay. I've never had detention, don't worry. Don't worry. But don't worry, as they're usually really reasonable. Like, they don't just give detentions out, like they give away, like, what? Yeah, they like usually really reasonable, but also my school just gives away negative points, so I'm going to talk through it, but obviously like not all schools do it. I know a few of my friends who go to other schools have it, but I'm not sure. So basically in my school you either get a negative or you get a positive, and I think they call them like negative and positive achievement points or something like that. I don't know. But basically if you misbehave you get a negative, and if you behave you get a positive. I think I had like 3 negatives last year, 2 negatives, and 1 was for homework and 1 was for chatting. Because if you don't know me, I could chat for like, I could talk for America. No, I don't even live in America. I could talk for the whole world. Honestly, I could talk for days. So if a teacher says to me, she goes, oh, here you goes, Bianca, can you please stop talking? I'll stop talking for like 5 minutes, and then I'll forget and then start talking again. So it's just who I am. You can ask any of my friends. Depending on your school, like what they do, but basically in my school you get a reminder, you get a verbal reminder, and then you get a negative, and then if you disobey the negative you get a 20-minute detention. If you disobey that you get an hour detention. If you disobey that you get isolation, I think. But also if you miss your 20-minute you get an hour, and if you miss your hour you get isolation. So yeah, I think that is everything though. I do believe that is everything I needed to talk about and I wanted to talk about. So if that is anything else, feel free to DM me on Instagram, because I will answer any questions you have. My Instagram is Bianca's Life. It'll be on the screen right now. And I'll see you all next week for another fun video. Bye guys. Mwah.